Today I'm going to tell you the story of Hamlet, Prince of Denmark by William Shakespeare. And it begins with a ghost. There are two sentinels who are keeping guard of the castle of Denmark where the king lives, and they see a ghost outside of the castle. So yeah, they go and report this to Prince Hamlet, and he decides that he wants to see the ghost as well. So they go out the next night and they see the ghost, and the ghost tells Hamlet to follow him into the woods. And so he does this, and it is revealed that the ghost is actually Hamlet's father. And he tells Hamlet that he was murdered by his brother Claudius by pouring poison in his ear. And so Hamlet decides that he wants to avenge his father. And so he goes back to the castle, and Ophelia. Hamlet is also courting a woman named Ophelia, and she tells her father Polonius, who is also the king's his counselor, that Hamlet is kind of acting strangely. So then he tells this to the king as well. And then, and so they decide to get some of Hamlet's friends, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, to come to the castle and talk to him about it and see what he's up to. And they try to get this information from him, but Hamlet realizes that they are trying to sort of spy on him. So he's onto their plan. But they inform him that there's a traveling play going around, like actors coming to the castle. And so Hamlet decides that he could use this play to try to figure out whether the king is actually guilty or not. So, then the play happens, and they do, I think it's the murder of Gonzaga. And then at the part where the murder actually happens, they do a replay of the ear poisoning thing. And Hamlet sees that the king reacts to this strongly. So then he realizes that he's guilty. And then Hamlet goes and talks to his mother that night. And he didn't know it, but Polonius was actually hiding behind the curtain. And so while he's talking to his mother, it gets heated, and then he realizes Polonius is hiding behind the curtain, so he kills Polonius. And then the king finds out and decides that he can send Hamlet to England. And so he does this. And then Ophelia finds out her father's dead and starts going crazy, and she ends up killing herself, drowning, I think. And then the king finds out that Hamlet's ship that was going to England was attacked by pirates. So then Hamlet's coming back to Denmark. So he finds a way to kill him. Laertes. Laertes is also Polonius' son and Ophelia's brother. And he comes back from France and realizes that his sister is going crazy and then eventually dies, and his father's dead, and he blames Hamlet for this. So him and the king decide to come up with a plan to kill him. They knew that Hamlet was jealous of Laertes' skills with sword fighting, so they poisoned the tip of Laertes' sword and decide to challenge Hamlet to a duel when he returns. And also the king puts poison in a glass of wine to make sure that he dies. And so when Hamlet returns, him and Laertes have a battle, like a duel with swords, and also the king and queen are watching this, and the queen, Hamlet's mother, who actually married Claudius after his father died, she drank the cup that was supposed to be for Hamlet and dies. And so, and this is while they're fighting. And then Laertes slices Hamlet with the poison tip sword, and then Hamlet in the fighting grabs Laertes' sword and wounds him with the poison tipped sword as well. And so as Laertes is dying, he tells Hamlet that the king was responsible for the poisoning of the arrow, or the sword and the wine. So then Hamlet kills the king by making him drink the rest of the poisoned wine, and then he dies himself. And then King Fortinbras of Norway storms into the castle as all this is happening, and by the time he gets into the main chamber, everyone is dead, except for Horatio, who then tells Fortinbras that he should be allowed to live so he can retell the tale to everyone. And that's it.